Ever since the release of Pokemon X and Y, we have been wondering on our minds where the heck Pokemon Z went. Back then, Pokemon Z was actually supposed to happen during the production of Pokemon X and Y, but was soon scratched because they saw the sales of Pokemon Black and White 2, the sequels to Black and White, go horrendously wrong. Now, Pokemon Z was supposed to be a direct sequel to Pokemon X and Y, but the Pokemon Company saw the sales of Black and White 2, the sequels to Black and White, do not as great as they thought they would, and stubbornly, they decided to scrap the game. But Scarlet and Violet brought tons of new references to Mega Evolution, meaning Scarlet and Violet might well be in the Mega timeline. Not only that, but we also got a painting that shows Ash Greninja. Now, the basis itself is kind of ratty, but X and Y alongside Black and White 2 are the only Pokemon games to not officially release a remake. So with all these references to X and Y, and the fact that the Kalos starters are in the game finally after so long, there's just too much that adds up that it could be leading to a remake. Now with all that out of the way, let's see what we can expect from Pokemon Z. Now for me, I don't want Pokemon Z to get the Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl remake. That was complete horrid. I don't want it to just be new graphics, right? I want it to just add more to the story, add more to Zygarde's lore, since he needs to be way more in depth than he already is, because all we know about him really is that he's the Earth's protector. And I also want to learn more about AZ's ultimate weapon, his past, and all of that, and I think what better way to do it in the Legends format. So it'll be in the old era, it'll still be like the Lumiose town or Lumiose village if you want to call it like that, and we'll be able to discover cells surrounded around the map, similar to Wisps in Legends Arceus. And once we recuperate all the cells, instead of gathering the fragments for Arceus, we're gathering all the cells for Zygarde's core, and then using Zygarde to stop a big threat or something like that. That would be an amazing plot, and honestly, it would be really, really sick too. Mix that with the open world format and maybe do some improvements from Legends Arceus, since Legends Arceus was a really good game, an amazing story and amazing just overall gameplay mechanics and such. But also there were bugs and the open world felt a little dry, so I think any improvements to that would also be nice. And I just think if we were to explore AZ's old era, since he is immortal, being able to be in that Kalos war and add war elements, crime, and all that kind of stuff in a very past game, imagine just being a refugee or a war hero of that era. That would be amazing. And I know what you're gonna say, dude, it's Nintendo, they're not gonna do something with war, but they don't even have to go that in depth with it. They don't have to go in depth with refugees, they just have to use heavy implications. And not only that, but Nintendo has improved Pokemon's maturity over the years. Legends Arceus, we turned 16 for the very first time, and past Pokemon games were 11 years old. Not only that, but they use death and die for the very first time. You get exiled, you get practically bullied in Legends Arceus. You also, in Scarlet and Violet, you encounter a dog's passing almost. Literally, the game was very emotional. And a lot of heavy topics for Pokemon games. And if they can do all of that kind of stuff, they could definitely dive a little deep into the war aspect. And they even mentioned the word war in X and Y, right? So it's not too far-fetched to say that they couldn't do something along the lines of a war hero or something like that, you know? They don't have to go that in depth, but if they could use the words die, death, bullying, exiled from your village, dude, that's pretty deep stuff. Of course, not anywhere comparison to war, but you know what I'm trying to say. They don't have to go very hard on the whole aspect of war, but just a few heavy implications here and there, sprinkle it a bit and soften it up, you know? Legends Arceus did what BDSP couldn't, and X and Y couldn't deliver when it came to the actual story. And I feel what better way to give Kalos the justice it deserves by giving it a Legends game. BDSP was an absolute failure, and if they do a regular remake like they did with BDSP, with all the chibi style and just it was just a remake. That's what it was, just remake with semi-better graphics. And if that's what the Kalos remake is going to be, then I'd rather not have it at all. Kalos deserves a remake, but if it's going to be in a simple remake format, that's just not for me. But what do you guys think? I think it deserves the Legends format. Do you think it just needs a simple graphic polish remake? Let me know in the comments below. But anyways guys, I hope you enjoyed the video and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.